Morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. I am going to show you just a quick bolt catch replacement on my M&P 1522. This is a 22 caliber copy of an AR-15 style. I'm not going to get into this is how you take it apart, the upper from the lower. I'm not going to get to all that stuff. Please look it up on another video, one of mine or somebody else's. I'm just going to strip it down, put it in the vise, and get right to replacing this, okay? So I'm trying to make the lighting as good as I can for you guys and gals, but I don't have a studio. So I stripped it down. This is the piece we're going to be changing out with one of these two. See, as soon as I move the camera, then the lighting changes. But I have to think a second which one I want to use. They're slightly different. That's a Giesel or Giesli. Not sure how they like their name said. And this one is XBC. I'll put links to them. Basically, what it does is it makes the top, which is the release, there we go. Makes the top easier to get to with your left hand if you're a right-handed shooter. And it mostly, for me, I need the bottom to be easier to press on, because let's say you're in the middle of a session and for some reason the range officer calls a ceasefire. Well, you have to open the bolt. You have to catch the bolt, which means pressing this, catch it back. You have to drop your mag and empty the chamber, put a chamber flag in there, all that stuff. And it's just hard to hit that little bitty thing sometimes. So that's why I wanted to change these out. And I could switch them back and forth between different rifles, so that I'll just decide which one I'm going to use. Well, I'm going to use this one because it's a 22 rifle. This one is a little smaller on the catch piece, and I will put this one on one of my either my 223 or my 556. So there, this is going to go in. So here's a little froggy tip. Adjusting again. Take a piece of clear tape, make it long enough so you can wrap it all the way around and attach back onto itself, because it won't stick to this this polymer very well, but it'll stick to itself. Wrap it right there over that part of the lower receiver that holds the bolt catch. All right, those little humps, wrap it right there, because you're going to drive the roll pin that way. And if you drive it too far, it won't go flying because it's not spring loaded, but it'll fall somewhere and you won't be able to find it. Anyway, this way it'll fall inside this plastic here. So I'm going to drive it not all the way out. I'm going to drive it so that it's stuck in there, that little piece right there. And then that'll allow this to come out. Now underneath here is a plunger and a spring, so you have to be careful of them also. But you can't really do any taping because this has to come off. Okay, here we go. We're going to use a small punch. Okay, I changed one of the parameters on this video software, so I think the exposure will be a little bit better. Anyway, these are special roll pin punches. They have a little round, not a dot, but like a little piece that goes inside the hole of the roll pin, and it prevents distortion of the roll pin end, and it also helps the punch not slip off. So I like those. You can probably get by with regular punches, but that's up to you. Anyway, let's move that roll pin out. I'm not going to be able to video this, but I'm describing it all to you before and after. That is my smallest one that I have. It's 1/16. No, so don't use one that's too big, okay? So let me describe what was happening. Was the punches I was using were actually too small, and they were going inside the roll pin because the roll pin has a hole in it. So I went up to a bigger size, and now you can see the roll pin is coming out. So I don't take the bloopers out. So that's for you guys and gals to learn from my mistakes, okay? Okay, so now we simply lift up and it's off. You have to have this the right distance for it to be freed up, but don't push it so far that it comes all the way out. We didn't need the tape, but we might have needed the tape. So, okay, that's the original one. That's out. Here, what I'm pressing on is the plunger, and behind the plunger is a spring. Some people call that a detente. I'm just going to put a little drop of oil in there. We're not changing that out. On the other brand that I got, they give you a new one of this and this. I guess that's if you're building something from scratch. On this one, we don't need it. Right in the center of your screen. You know, it actually has so much oil on it from cleaning that I'm not going to put any more on there. But that's it, right where I'm flashing my light. Make sure that's in there, otherwise nothing's going to work. I am going to put a little grease on this new part because it's very dry, and in some places I like grease instead of oil because you really are never going to take this apart again, and the grease will stay on there a little bit better, I think. I've got it most of the way in. I want to show you right where I'm putting my light. You can see a little bit on the right side is still sticking out. I'm going to put that in flush, and I took the tape off, so I wanted to show you that with the tape off. Let's see if I can brighten this up a little bit. Yeah, that's a little better. So you want it to move like that, okay? Just like you should have tested the old one before you took it out. It should move. Right, it's not like a super duper precision fit, but you know, there's a little bit of play in it, and there was a little bit of play in the original one also. Okay, now I'm going to finish that up and punch it in the rest of the way, and then I'll recap. Okay, so let's recap. My suggestions: use a vise. Use one of these tools that goes in the magazine hole. This one is not actually fit the 22 caliber, but it was good enough. This is made for 223 and 556, which obviously the mag well is a little bit different on a 22 to those other sizes, but it worked well enough. Make sure you have the right roll pin punch, the right size. Small ones will slip inside the pin. When I went to use the tape, if you want to use the little tape trick, when I went to put it back, I actually found it was difficult. I'm just going to lay it there. It was difficult to get the hammer in to hit the punch. So what I did was I took a bigger punch and I held those two together right where I'm touching them with my finger, and then with my right hand I hit the bigger punch, and that seemed to work pretty good instead of trying to get the hammer, or the little edge of the hammer in there. All right, so give me a thumbs up or like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. Ring the bell if you want notifications. And we're going to be doing this other one. And we're going to be doing triggers too. Okay, I got a double, single pull and a double pull. So I wanted to try out both styles to see which one I like better. Two-stage is what they call it. A single stage and a two-stage. So we're going to be trying those out too. Okay, be safe, have fun. Let's go, Brandon. Froggy out, bye-bye. Well, okay, after all that, guess what? It doesn't work. And I know why, and I'm going to tell you why. There's a difference, obviously, between a 5.56 and a 223 AR style and the 22 caliber AR style. There's a difference in the bolt, especially, completely different. So this is the Geisley. This is the original equipment. Let me get a better pointer. So I've got a punch through the holes of both of them. So they're both lined up the way they would be lined up if they were installed on the rifle, okay? Punch through the holes. This is the bottom. Everything's upside down here. Let me see if I can change it for you. Maybe that'll make it better. There's no reason I can't change it. Okay. There we go. So, there. They're lined up correctly. This is the lower part, the engaging the bolt hold back. This is the upper part, which is releasing the bolt hold back, releasing the bolt. You can see this is the piece that sticks up into the bolt carrier group, BCG, all right? Obviously, clearly, extremely, totally different. Totally different shape, totally different design. These that are meant for 5.56 and 223 will not work in a 22 caliber AR style. Customer service will tell you, oh yeah, sure, they'll fit. Yeah, they fit, but they don't hold the bolt back. They don't work. All right, so that's going to come out, and it'll go into one of my other 5.56 223s, so no loss there. That'll go in one. This one will go in the other one, and this will go back into the 22 caliber so that it will function, unless I can find something that is specifically made for the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. All right, it's got to be specifically made for it. Otherwise, guys and gals, it's not going to work. Okay, so there you go. Froggy out again. Bye-bye.